Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber's Giving Tuesday Preview. We are joined today by our area nonprofits, and we're so happy to have them here so you can learn more about them. So today we have, how many do we have? About a dozen of our area nonprofits, and there's a lot more in the Valley, but these are the ones who could join us today. Because if you're not familiar, Giving Tuesday is a big, I'm going to call it national holiday, like those national holiday calendars. I'm going to try to go on video and not freeze. And I'm going to freeze again. Sorry, folks. I go to video again. Where nonprofits seek, whether it's donations or whether they seek volunteers, but it's an opportunity for you to get to know the nonprofits and see how you can be involved with the different organizations and find things that you're passionate for. So we're going to go around really quick. I'm going to call three people's names, and they're all going to have like 30 seconds to tell you really quick who they are, what their organization is, and what they do. And everyone's going to get an opportunity. Then we're going to do some little interviews with them, some questions, and so you can get to know our nonprofit. So I'm going to say your first name, so pay attention to the order that we're in, and can we highlight them? So I'm going to say Charlie. How do you say your name? How do you say your name?
Tanjane.
Tanjane and Matthew. Matt. So Charlie, Tanjane, Matthew. We want to hear about your organizations.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Charlie Rubin. I work for the San Fernando Valley Community Mental Health Center. As you can see on the screen, we've been serving families and individuals in our community since 1970. We're one of the largest providers in Los Angeles. We have clinics throughout the San Fernando Valley, although we serve clients throughout all of Los Angeles. So that starts off from birth through children, family, adolescents, transitional age youth, adults, homeless, everything in between, all the way through older adults. Thank you, Nancy.
Hey, Tanjane.
Hi, my name is Tanjane. I work for Discovery Cube Los Angeles. We are a kids science museum that provides on-site programming, after school, and outreach programs externally. We've been around in LA for 7 years, but we also have an Orange County location that's been around for, I believe, 27 years. And yeah, we support the STEM space for kids.
Great. Okay, Matthew.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Matthew Swearman. I'm the Senior Director of Development and Donor Relations at Valley Village. Valley Village is a nonprofit serving about 400 women and men with developmental and intellectual challenges. We were founded in 1971, so this is our 50th anniversary year, and we serve our clients, the women and men who rely on us through day programs. We have 3 of them around the valley, and we have 18 residential group homes also located in and around the San Fernando Valley. Thank you for having us today, Nancy.
Thanks for being here. Okay, so our next 3 are going to be Susie, who has a great last name, Hoffman also, Brian Gavidia, and April Lynn.
Hello, I noticed that too. Hi, my name is Susie.
Did we lose Susie? I think we lost you. Okay, Susie, I think you're frozen.
As well as we do a lot of parent workshops and parenting classes, specifically around single parents. And then we have a low-cost academic summer camp, STEM summer camp.
Okay, great. Brian and then April.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Gavidia. I am the Government and Community Relations Manager at Northeast Valley Health Corporation. We are a nonprofit health corporation providing primary preventive healthcare services to uninsured and underinsured patients throughout the San Fernando and the Santa Clarita Valleys with 17 health centers. This year, we are planning to host our annual toy drive, providing brand new toys to over 1,000 patients. We hope to count on your support for Giving Tuesday. I'll tell you more soon.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is April Lind, and I work with Chrysalis. We provide employment services for individuals with barriers to employment, such as homelessness, justice system involvement, or lack of work history. And we have 5 centers and locations across Southern California. Our one in the Valley is located in Pacoima.
Great. Okay, let's see. Kathy, Christy, and Lewis.
Hi, good morning. I'm Kathy Gallerno, and I'm the Chief Development Officer at Tierra del Sol. Like several other organizations on this call, we were founded 50 years ago. This year is our 50th anniversary, and we serve people with developmental disabilities, adults who are seeking jobs, volunteer work, looking to graduate from college, and we also have a career in the arts program. We serve about 750 adults throughout San Gabriel Valley, San Fernando Valley, and Santa Clarita. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Height. I'm with the Adult Skills Center, and we also support adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities. And we support them to provide their most independent and meaningful lives. And we help them integrate into our larger community. Our clients are either working in the community, volunteering, or learning important skills. And TASK has been around for a little bit less than Tierra del Sol or Valley Village, but about 35 years will be next year. So we're excited to be able to support our community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Luis Almonte. I'm with Discovery Cube Los Angeles as well. As Tanjane mentioned, we've been in the area for 7 years. And I don't want to repeat what she said, but I also want to add that, you know, we also make use of volunteers. So all of our local organizations that provide volunteers, they're able to come to Discovery Cube LA and serve as well.
Lewis and I are new best friends. We just met at a VICA event, and we have so much in common. So
yes, we do.
We look forward to working with you more. So, okay, let's see. Who else do we have? So we just had, we have Kevin, and then Stephanie just joined us. So you're going to introduce yourself if you just joined in. Tell us who you are, the name of your organization, and what you do.
I'm Stephanie Galloway. I'm the Executive Director of Bernardi Senior Center. It falls under Valley Intercommunity Council. So we have 4 senior centers inside the San Fernando Valley. We serve 1,600 meals to homebound clients every week. We have a transportation department where we take them to the doctor, to have lunch with a friend. We have case management. We have our homebound program, and we have our congregate meals where usually the clients get together and have lunch. So we're very excited to be part of this, and I'm here really to learn. It's my first time being part of this type of meeting with you guys. So I'm excited to see how we can all work together.
Great. Okay, Kevin.
Hello, everyone. My name's Kevin Perez, president, co-founder with Somos Familia Valle, meaning we're a Valley family. We're a grassroots local LGBT organization in the Valley, gender and racial justice group. We do the annual San Fernando Valley Pride. We also provide direct services and programming specifically for LGBT folks of color. And then, yeah, we do policy work also. And yeah, excited to be here.
Great. Well, so we have some regular members here too that are not part of the nonprofit that want to hear more about you. So I just want to give them a chance to introduce themselves, which is Richie Brill and Richard Blumenberg. And so please introduce yourself.
I'm Richie at Merchant Connecting. We're a boutique merchant services company, and we're structured in such a way that we can offer lower rates to nonprofits so they retain more of their donations. Richie at Merchant Connecting.
And then Richard.
I'm Richard Blumenberg with RLB Architecture. I have a residential architecture firm in Pacific Palisades, specialized in traditional and Spanish Mediterranean residential architecture.
And then I just saw Josie join us. So Josie, you're one of our nonprofits too. So you get an opportunity to introduce yourself, what your organization is, and very quickly what your organization does. And we're going to get some questions for all of our nonprofits.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Josie Casarrubias, the now Associate Director for the San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission. We are a family shelter program that takes in women, single men, families with small children, and we help them through a holistic approach get back on their feet and try to overcome the homeless situation they may have fallen into. So we approach things from a physical, mental, and spiritual perspective, being a faith-based program as well. And we also partner with different organizations around us to really come together and meet families where they're at and help them out of the situation they're facing.
Great. Well, we're so happy to have everyone here today. So my first question, and so don't forget, these are not long soliloquies. We're on Facebook Live, and we want everyone to stay with us. And we're not going to do a round robin like we just did. I'm going to ask a couple different people some questions, and you'll have 30 seconds, maybe a minute the most, to answer. So the first question is going to be, can you share a story about how your organization has made an impact in the last year with the pandemic? We've all had to make some shifts, some changes. So think about that for a couple seconds. Like doom, 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 doom. And let's see. I think the first group we're going to go to is Kevin to answer that question.
Hi, everyone. Hold on, it says unmute myself. Okay, hello everyone. So yeah, one of the things that we had in Somos that was very interesting during COVID-19 was we turned into more into mutual aid. So we're able to provide a lot of gift cards for food, housing services and things like that. Specifically just cash aid for our most vulnerable folks, specifically trans folks and non-binary folks and folks, youth who have families who are undocumented, things like that. But we still continued our service, and we were able to still be together as a community, where we were able to do Zooms and continue our services through Zoom. So I think one of the great things about the work that we do, that as a community org, we were able to come together and still join together and still do stuff. And we were even able to still do events. We did it outside in parks through social distancing and picnic pods, and still like celebrate each other and continue to be there with each other as a community. So yeah.
Okay, so Charlie, you're next. If you could tell people something about your organization, a lot of people don't always understand what you do. What's the one thing you would want people to know about what the San Fernando Valley Community Mental Health Center does, and what the outcome is of what you do with that?
All right, thank you, Nancy. Well, we do so much since we have 51 programs that services all courses of adults. But if we kind of think back at the pandemic, I administratively oversee our homeless and reentry programs, and we were open throughout the pandemic to take care of clients. We actually put up canopies in our parking lot to service the clients so we could social distance and be safe. Kind of like Kevin said, we have an emergency food bank, and clients weren't able to come in. We actually made deliveries to a lot of our older adults that were too nervous to get in before they were get into our emergency food bank to get their needed food. So 2 little stories there. I'll elaborate on the next question.
Okay, so I'm picking 3 people right now: Matt, Christy, and Kathy, because they all do similar things. So can we highlight the 3 of them? So these are organizations that help the developmentally disabled mainstream back into the workplace. Can we highlight all 3? And I want you guys to talk about, I'm going to give you all like a minute to talk about what's different and unique about your particular organization. You know, because you're all similar, but you all have your own special qualities that are different than the others, correct? You know, and because for those of you who don't know, the Chamber applied for the SBA's Community Navigator program. And unfortunately, we didn't get it. There's only one agency in all of California that got that Community Navigator. But with that said, we learned a lot about our nonprofits as we were looking to how we as a chamber could help businesses through our nonprofits. And so I got to learn a lot more about these different organizations during that. And I kind of wanted them to highlight what they do that's so unique from each other, because while the heart of what they do is the same, they all have, like I said, their unique components. So let's start with Matt.
Thanks, Nancy. So Valley Village is unique in that the population of folks we serve tend to be a bit more medically fragile than some other organizations. So the care that we provide is much more focused on helping them thrive and live as independently as they can, each individual. So many of our folks, most of our folks, aren't able to ambulate or conduct, basically do the things that we all do for ourselves that we may not even give any thought to every day, feeding ourselves, using the restroom. So for our folks, there's a great deal of one-on-one care. It's very intimate care, a lot of care with dignity, care with trust, and that evolves around our day programs that provide enrichment, therapeutic activities to help each individual be as independent as possible, as well as the residential program. And something cool about that is when our founders set up the residential program, their mantra or their ideal was, and still is today, is this a home that I would want to live in myself? So we kind of based everything around that as we move forward through the years.
That's great. Okay, Christy.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you're kind of highlighting the three of us, because we do offer, while it's similar, it's very different, and providing it to, you know, unique individuals. And I think that's something that's really important to know, is that really each person served through all of our programs has very individualized needs, and all of us have risen, I think, to provide the services to what it is that they actually need. And one of the things that is a little bit unique about Task is we provide services to individuals that it kind of goes back into a history, but there used to be developmental centers in the state of California. And those developmental centers have started to close down, which is a good thing. But one of our programs is specifically supplying those individuals that are coming out of the developmental centers with the specialized therapeutic supports that they need. So our programs rely a lot on behavioral support, which is not something that right now, at least, that you're typically seeing with a lot of individuals with developmental disabilities. You see that at very young ages, you know, with kids in different programs, but at some point the behaviorists kind of stop working with them at a certain age range. So a lot of our behaviorists are working with adults, which is very niche. And we've seen a lot of incredible impact with that different types of support. And, you know, a few of the other things that we do, you know, there are different variations, but one of the other things that we do is we also provide employment, which I know a few other organizations provide employment. But one of the things for us, and to be honest, it was a challenge, is working with individuals with a higher level of behavioral challenges. They would need to kind of have a stepping stone to be able to work in different community jobs. So what we've done at Task is we have what we call micro enterprises, where we have, like, it's our program that has the different business, but it's a very small business. Like, we have a small convenience store that's on site where our office is. And then recently we branched over into doing an online business for clothing so that our clients could still work, that are really interested in fashion. So we've kind of had to grow, these micro enterprises so that our clients can have that stepping stone to learn what it means to be working in the community without having the same impact yet of, working in a community business. So it's something that they're kind of able to graduate through. But I'm sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time. So Kathy, if you would like to have your turn.
Sure, no problem. No, it's very interesting, actually. And again, I am glad too that you've called on all of us at once, because our services, in fact, we work with both your organizations and learn from each other. And we really learn mainly from our clients. One of the I don't know if it's unique, but I think it's very, very important that all of us really listen to what the people that we serve need and what they want. We have a person-centered approach, and we instill that in all of our staff. And when they come into our program, we sit down with them and we have a path plan, and we actually go through what their goals want to be. And sometimes for some people, it may sound unattainable for somebody to get a job with a disability, but it really isn't. And we believe that each person can reach that end goal. And we work with them through our very well-trained staff. Most of the work that we do is out in the community. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of our clients get their skills through volunteer services. We partner with numerous nonprofits. Before the pandemic, over 160. And we actually are considered like an extension of their staff, and we help them further their mission. So we're like professional volunteers. And it's an incredible way for our associates to get job skills. We are calling our clients associates now, so forgive me for referring to them as clients. Some of them will excel to the point of getting paid positions. We have about 150 employees that are now getting paid, and we're really looking for job opportunities now. Many of our associates have been training intensely during the pandemic, whether it be through online services or just having a coach with them, and they're ready to go to work. And we do all the training beforehand, and we have a coach on site, which is also, I think, very helpful to employers. So we were looking for employers to give us the opportunity to give those associates a chance. We also have a college to career program. So we serve about 160 young adults, ages 18 to 25 at 8 different colleges. We help them navigate the system, and some have graduated with their BAs. And we're really excited about that. It was unheard of a number of years ago for someone with a disability to get a degree. And now it's becoming reality, and it's very motivating to the other associates. And then the last part of our program, which is also kind of our crown jewel, is our career in the arts program. And I say that because it's very visual. We have some very talented artists. We serve about 120 artists at 2 different studios. And then we showcase their work at a gallery in downtown Los Angeles. It's called the Tierra Gallery, and it's in Chinatown. And it's really a great opportunity for them to showcase their work to the world, and to see what people with disabilities can do and can create. And just a little plug, on December 11th, we're having a holiday boutique all day on a Saturday. We'd love you to come down and check out some of the creations from our artists and some other vendors. So thank you.
I'm muted. Thank you, everyone. I didn't realize I was muted still. So let's talk to a couple other people and see, as we're exiting the pandemic, well, we hope we're exiting it, right? We want to know what your organization is doing to move forward. So, and how, and also maybe what's the biggest thing you learned? Here's the question. What's the biggest thing you learned during the pandemic that is going to move your organization forward, something that you're doing different? And so I'm going to call on 2 different people for this, 2 totally different organizations, but only because April used to work in this other organization. So April and Josie.
Great. Hi, everyone. Again, that's a great question and something we're definitely wrestling through as an organization. We serve around 6,000 clients a year across Southern California, and traditionally they all came into our centers to receive job readiness training, to be referred to one of our transitional jobs. We employ around 600 clients a week in transitional jobs. And like a lot of organizations, probably we've realized there's a certain amount of our programming that can be done virtually, that clients don't have to come into our centers. So A lot of our volunteer opportunities will stay hybrid, where we have virtual, we have in person. So we have volunteers connecting with clients over Zoom to prepare a resume that may be better for a client than coming into a center, having to find childcare, that kind of thing. And through that, we've realized that we can expand our programming without opening a new center in every community that we want to be in, because opening a center is quite expensive. So we actually, the governor, through the governor's Clean California Act, we are looking to expand our roads transitional jobs. We employ clients to do freeway maintenance, and we have around 13 crews across Southern California. And we're actually putting our name in the hat for an additional 10 crews that would add 500 additional jobs. And these are in Central California and outside of LA and Orange County, which before the pandemic, we never would have done because we don't have centers there. But we're learning a lot about how to do more satellite and remote work. And so in 2022, it's likely that we'll bring on additional crews for our roads program as well. So yeah, it's been a dynamic time, like it has been for everyone.
Okay, Josie.
Unmuting would help. Okay, wonderful. Well, I think something that that changed in our program is that prior to COVID, this used to be a back to work day program primarily, or I would say evening and morning program. And now through the pandemic, we realized the need to just maintain this program open throughout the entire day. It was necessary, but we've adopted that, and we will continue to stay as a full day and program now. Also, during the pandemic, we distributed food, and we realized that even for some of the community or some of the families, previous families, cooking, preparing food, all of those things were kind of an issue even when we were distributing food. So we opened our kitchen to be a place where previous families and anyone local in the community could come in and take a warm meal with them. We weren't able to serve them here because of CDC and all the different restrictions, but families did call and come and pick up food throughout the pandemic. We actually had several previous families call into the shelter and just ask, is there anything I can do? Can I help? So we just saw previous families and current families all come together during the pandemic. It really taught us as staff the need that just the community and families have for having somebody, not just that can provide an item or a meal, but somebody that they really can trust. So we were a place that a lot of families came back to because they felt a sense of trust. And something that we are in the works of, because we will be an entire day program, or we will continue to stay that way, is that we are planning for a daycare. God willing, sometime next year, we will be able to have a daycare on site, and we're working towards that and what it will look like. But we are excited that CDC has become a little bit more lenient with the program, which allows us to move families in quicker. That was a big challenge we had. Everybody had to go through a 2-week quarantine period, which was frustrating when you had somebody in need, to have them wait for those 2 weeks before someone else came out of quarantine. But that's, it's relaxing with vaccines and all the different things that are changing. So we're grateful for that. But we continue to move forward, and we currently have open beds. So if there's anyone in need that you're aware of, please send them our way, and we'll figure out the details with them. Thank you.
Thanks, Josie. Okay, so next I want to highlight Brian Gavidia from Northeast Valley Health Corporation. Definitely an organization that had some major changes probably during the pandemic in their offerings. And a lot of people think they're only in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, when really they're all over the valley and Santa Clarita. So Brian, what has changed? You guys have expanded a lot in your offerings. So tell us just very briefly, kind of what your core is and then what you've expanded to in your organization.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. So we serve over 75,000 patients throughout the San Fernando and Santa Clarita Valleys. We actually have 4 health centers out in the Santa Clarita Valleys. Our core of our services are providing primary preventive healthcare services, including, for example, adult medicine, pediatrics, family medicine, women's health. We have an in-house pharmacy. We administered COVID-19 testing, vaccines, boosters at all of our sites. Really what has changed or has helped us transition the way we provide services during the pandemic has been our transitioning to telehealth, where families are able to receive their care safely from home. That was especially important during the peak of the pandemic. But we also administer, innovative programs or programs that are community-based, such as our produce distribution to address social determinants of health. And we also have our annual toy drive, which brings a smile to our pediatric patients and a brand new toy to over 1,000 families throughout the San Fernando and Santa Clarita valleys. And so we are accepting toy donations. We're also accepting monetary sponsorships and donations. You could get more information at nevhc.org/2021 toy drive.
Brian, before you went to work there, when you were still at the mayor's office, I think we were together doing the ribbon cutting for the Women's Center that Northeast Valley Health Corporation has, the Pacoima Women's Center. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Pacoima Women's Health Center.
And I just want to bring that up because I think it's such a unique program for an organization like yours to have. And I think that if we have any listeners who are on our Facebook Live, to know that there's actually a dedicated program through Northeast Valley Health Corporation just for women, whether you have just your normal women's needs or if you have cancer. And they're like state of the art. And so I don't know if you want to just really, really quick say anything about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We opened up our newest Pacoima Women's Health Center, and it's just expanding the services to women and families. And it's not our only site. We also have different sites that provide those services. So we're a one-stop shop of comprehensive primary and preventive healthcare.
Okay, so next we are going to talk to Susie, because you're our newest member, newest nonprofit. And so I think while a lot of people have met some of these other organizations, we don't really know enough about you. I know you just talked really briefly about it. So if there, and I know I've asked several people this, what's the unique that Hands for Hope offers out of other organizations like yours?
Thank you. I know I was just saying how it's nice to join. I'm new to the Valley. I'm LA resident for a long, long time, but our founder lives in Van Nuys and set up this organization in North Hollywood 21 years ago. So she's a Valley pro, but I am not yet. So I would say in terms of what is Hands for Hope. So the idea was supporting families who had really under-resourced family needs. And so students who needed extra tutoring or, sorry if my computer's going in and out, lagging. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Thank you. So it's really about supporting families, both students and parents, who need extra support, whether it be, as I said, tutoring support after school. So that's our free after school program. We do a lot of STEAM, as I mentioned. So we do drums, we do piano classes, we have computer coding classes. A student wanted to learn ASL, American Sign Language. And so one of our staff knows that and started up a class virtually. So in reference to your question about how did we pivot during the pandemic, we were very, very much about like a small program, getting to know our families really well, students coming after school every day, and then we had to go all virtual. So we had like 53 kids, I think, sign up virtually last spring. And we figured out how to teach piano. You know, we would ship pianos to each student's home. We had a cooking class where we would order the food online, and each family, kind of when Kevin was sharing around mutual aid, we pivoted some to mutual aid and found that one way we could do that was that if we shared food with families each week that the students would cook. That was also a really creative way to involve more family members, because oftentimes if a student was taking a cooking class, they would need their parent close by. And so we adjusted the time of the class to make it convenient to when a parent could be present. We do parent workshops every other month around topics that are of interest to parents, whether it be, we've done a lot of resources around mental health and mental wellness during the pandemic. We've done financial literacy. We've had people come and talk about housing. I'd love to learn more about some of your organizations to invite you to do presentations to the parents in terms of, you know, local resources. That would be great to follow up afterwards. And we really try to show up for families as they navigate. So school age kids, we start when kids are 8 years old, 8 or 9, because we find that that's kind of an important time to come into a family's life around academic support and extracurricular support. And then students often stay with us until they're 18. And then a lot of the parents, it's really amazing, as another person was sharing, kind of Josie, I believe, the family dynamic. And so we have this huge network of thousands of students who have been in our program, and our alumni come back and participate in doing cooking classes with the kids. We just had somebody do that. We have another woman who opened a restaurant in New York, and she participated in one of our fundraisers as a presenter. And so also for us, it's a community environment that we work to really build and sustain.
Great. Okay. Well, Brian Gavidia put it in the chat that he would love to connect with you more on what you guys offer. And at the end or later today, we'll send a list out of everyone who's here and your phone numbers and emails so you can connect with each other too. So let us go on. So Stephanie, where are you on my screen? Are you still here? Oh, there you are. Hey, you know, Valley Interfaith Council, or whatever the big name is a huge organization with so many different branches to it. And you're part of the Bernardine Multicultural Center. When I started the chamber 34 years ago, our office was around the corner from there. And it's evolved so much in the 34 years I've been around to what they do. I mean, almost completely different when it used to literally be like a senior center when I first started. And so why don't you tell us about, give me 4 things that the Bernardine Multipurpose Center does, 4, that you want people to know about, because there's a lot. So let's pick the top 4 that you think are the most important that people should know.
I think first and foremost, all of our services are free. And because we stretch out over the San Fernando Valley, so we're one of the largest senior centers. So we're reaching out to a lot of people, delivering a lot of free food. Last week, we did essential items. So we did huge fundraising for blankets, shampoos, conditioners, pretty much learning during the pandemic what our clients needed. So first and foremost, that everything is free. The lady that just spoke right now, she's located in North Hollywood, which is a Bernardi area. So maybe those parents that you're working with have their parents where we can provide those free services for anyone in your organization. We're doing a lot of outreach right now, and I'm planning at Bernardi, and all the other centers will follow. We'll be doing a lot of online. So we'll have more computer classes. If you need to Zoom with your doctor, we'll have support for that. We're working with Department of Aging and USC to do kind of like an analysis of what clients over 60 need in order to be more remote. So they've sent out hundreds of iPads. And so we're really kind of learning how to integrate the older population with now this new change of technology. Was that 4?
Okay. I don't know. I mean, they were all merged. It was great though, because I think you gave a good background on what you do and what you need and how you can work with some of the other groups here. So I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we work.
Yeah. And then a couple of years ago, say that again?
We've been working with San Fernando Health. They've been providing food donations for our seniors. And so I know a few of the people on here. It's really nice to be in a meeting with everyone.
Well, and I noticed a couple years ago, we did a ribbon cutting at one of your locations. I don't know, if it was permanent housing, but it was a facility over kind of near the courthouse. I want to say, if you do remember. And I thought that was a really great program too, where people could, I think that's one of the places that they go to get their aid, I believe.
Is it I've
Do you
been
know
the
what I'm talking
director
about?
for 5 years, so if it was before my time, my guess is it's a off-site conjugate lunch program.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was. That was a great program too as well. So I just wanted to bring something up because, you know, we don't get to see everything that our nonprofits do. So it's always nice when we get to have a little moment to actually see it live in person. So whenever you have a ribbon cutting, everyone make sure you invite us. Okay, so now our last two for this section are Tanjane and Lewis. And I saved them for last because they probably, was Lewis still here? Did he leave?
No, he jumped off. I'll be.
Oh, okay. So, you know, I send them for last because I think they have some of the most unique story in the fact that when the pandemic happened, museums were shut down. I mean, while a lot of you still got to operate and maybe had to pivot, they couldn't even pivot really. I mean, and they did. Discovery Cube did. They did some outdoor programs and some private things, but they're just coming back. They've just been open again, not even 7 days a week yet. And I don't know if they got any of that shuttered venue revenue or, you know, grants that are out there. I heard that those weren't even that easy to grant. But the reason why I want to highlight them now that you know that they really struggled a lot, and so they all need all of your support, all your kids, bring them there because they're getting ready to start opening more days, is you're growing, you're expanding the Discovery Cube, which I didn't know about till I ran into Lewis a couple weeks ago. And I want you to tell what those changes are going to be and what we can look forward to seeing at the Discovery Cube. And really quick, if you don't know what the Discovery Cube is, the big one is originally in Santa Ana, and it's kind of like a kids' science museum. If you've ever come to our gala, we've done it there twice. It's a really fun, interactive museum, and this one's always kind of like the baby of the Discovery Cube family, and it's growing. And so, Tanjane, take it away.
Sure, thank you. So one of the most interesting things that I've found that happened during the pandemic was in the LA Unified School District, they actually reduced the requirement for science to be taught during the week. It's like 30 minutes to an hour for a week. So we really aspire to fill that space in the STEM area for kids and provide that supplemental resource and to continue stimulating their minds. So one of the big things that we did during the pandemic is we launched Discovery Cube Connect.org, which is an online platform where we provide hundreds of science projects that can be done at home by parents and their children. We also have a track that teachers can use online, and we also converted our summer camp programs into virtual programs. So we also have those online options as well. We did receive some funding, so we have some exciting things coming next year that are going to really help develop our outdoor space. So we have our water table that's coming next year that's going to represent the LA River. Kids will be able to see like how it works and all of that stuff. They'll be able to play with that. They also have a carousel coming, and we're also going to launch our STEM club. And then, yeah, so we do need a lot of help. One of our most pressing things that we can receive support on is volunteers, especially during the holiday season. We are not open Monday through Friday. Currently, we're only open Thursday through Sunday, but there's going to be 2 weeks in December where we're open 7 days a week, I believe. So we are going to need a lot of support for that. And anybody in the STEM space is always encouraged to apply to volunteer. We're also always open to collaborative opportunities if you want to do an event that really hones in on the science of whatever. We're also definitely going to be focusing on mental health next year too. There's definitely great opportunities for that. We're always open to that. So yeah.
Great. So here's how I want to end this because we have 15 minutes. And, you know, one of my personal things is the future leadership of the San Fernando Valley and how all of you look for board members and volunteers. But I think one of the hardest things lately, I mean, this is what I find, is finding board members. We have this younger generation that hasn't really been taught volunteerism the way I think a lot of us were. And I've always wanted to do a leadership program where the end session would be almost like a speed networking of getting to know the nonprofits, so nonprofits could find future board members, or maybe have board member and training programs. And what I want to ask all of you, so I'm going to do the thing where I call 3 names, so you know, in order. Let us know what you look for in a board member, right? Because everyone has a different need. Like what I need from a board member is probably different than some of you. And I'm just going to go throw out the things that I look for. We call them, and you've seen some of our signs at our events. We have power of connections, power of information. I want a board member who's connected. I want someone who's got a lot of information. I want them to have knowledge, power of knowledge. So maybe that knowledge is of my industry, like maybe it's your industry. Maybe it's for the chamber, it's more knowledge of our community, and power, financial power. Whether they're not going to bring you money, if they don't have a give-get, do they have access? Whether it's helping you find grants, or is it finding or knowing someone else that may believe in your type of program? Does that make sense? So I'm going to give you like a few seconds to think about that. And no, Gary, you cannot on this one. Sorry. This is all about the nonprofits today. You could talk to them individually later. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with 3 people. I'm going to call your names. We're going to go in that order. Like I said, we have less than 15 minutes now, so let's keep it really quick. So Tanjane, Christy, Kevin, what do you look for in a board member?
In a board member, we are definitely looking for people who have a great local community presence. We need a lot more local awareness of who we are.
Okay. And by the way, I have it on speaker view, so I can't, so it's on Facebook Live. So who did I say next? Christy.
Christy, yeah, I'm ready. Hello again, everyone. So some things that we look for, similar to what Tanjane also said, but also for us, and to your point, Nancy, is, you know, people who have a little bit of the time to commit to being there. And it's not a lot of time, but just being able to, you know, be accountable to go to certain events to help raise funds. So fundraising is really important to us as well. Even if it's not having this huge network of people, it's just being able to attend fundraising committees and come up with different ideas, you know, have some creativity and have some bravery to make the ask, you know, even if it's not people that they directly know, but to help us extend our own networks. And also we're looking for people that have some of their natural talents, whatever that may be, to be able to bring to the table. You know, I think in a board, we're really looking to diversify and diversify in many different ways. And one of them is just the natural talents that an individual possesses, you know, whether it's you know, like maybe they have background in finance, so they could go through our books and just kind of be a great treasurer, or a secretary, someone who, you know, just has an eye for details and those kinds of things. So those are things, you know, it could be very specific to the person, but we really value the diversity in skills and diversity in all the different ways that we've been talking about.
Great. And did I say April next? Because I went out of gallery view. Who was my next person?
It was me. Hello, everybody. So I would say some of the things that I would look for a board member is being able to reimagine. And I mean like reimagine the world. So like specifically when you do nonprofit work, it's always, you know, you following the mission of the work that you do. So being able to dream and hope and go beyond what's already existing and be able to create something and foster something that's different that exists, especially as people who are trying to change the world. I would also try to be very action driven, specifically to trying to get something or seeking something or having something to change. And then at least for me, the last thing would be like to be very 818 like proud and Valley driven. And I'm at least for the work that I do, I'm very driven to my community, very power structure to my community, and have my energy comes from there. So having that love for the 818 is one of my main things.
Well, we love the 818 too. In fact, we have a hashtag made in the 818 and proud to be SFV. So start using them and help us out with that. Okay, so next three, April, Brian, and Kathy. What do you look for in a board member?
A great question. And we're actually launching a San Fernando Valley Advisory Council. So kind of an easier entry point than joining a board. So I'll speak more specifically to that. We look for people that are in alignment and embody our values of respect, empowerment, equity and inclusion, innovation, and integrity. And when I think of who we would want, it's really just making friends for the organization, people that are well connected, that are passionate about our cause, about workforce development and helping people overcome homelessness. It's just engaging people in our work, and people may decide to donate, they may decide to volunteer, but at least just connecting them in some way. And people that want to help make Chrysalis more of a household name in the San Fernando Valley.
Great. Okay, Brian.
Yeah, I'd like to highlight that 50% of our board of directors are patients. So with that, we really value a commitment to our mission, our vision, to the community. And we really look for folks that have a network and that have experience fundraising, or if they don't have experience fundraising, that are open to it. Folks that make themselves available to attending events and learning about the ins and outs of our organization and participating at our events internally as well, and just being a team player and supportive of everything that we do.
Okay, great. And Kathy. You're still muted.
Okay. There we go. My apologies. So there's been a lot of really great characteristics and I think values that everyone's brought to the table in looking for board members. And like what Brian had just mentioned, the really great thing about Tierra is I'd say 50% of our board members actually do not have a family member that we're serving. 50% are family members, and the other 50% are people that are really passionate about our mission. They are employers that have hired some of our clients in the past, and they see the value that people with disabilities can actually bring to the community. And so being passionate about our mission is something that I think can be contagious with a board member, whether they have a lot of friends or a big network. Again, we provide opportunities for them to invite people to some of our fundraisers and get the message out. And we've had some new board members recently that have just been really excited about the mission. And I think it's really been enthusiastic for the other board members. It's been contagious. We're also looking for board members now that our services are spread across like 3 valleys, Santa Clarita, San Gabriel Valley, and then the whole San Fernando Valley, which is gigantic. We're looking for people that live in different demographic areas because, as we all know, areas like Pasadena and Glendale and Santa Clarita sometimes are their own communities, and we need to start making sure that we reach out to all of those different areas because we're serving clients in those areas, and get the word out. So those are some of the things that we're looking for in a board member, and of course, not, again, like Christy said, not being shy to fundraise and show their support for the organization.
Great. Okay, next 3. Charlie, Josie, and Matt.
Thank you, Nancy. Actually, we brought on 3 new board members through the pandemic, which was fortunate. We are still looking for a financial person, so maybe like a CPA to come on board. We've always looked for like a celebrity, which we've had a really difficult time. But we do kind of have, we are looking into diversity. So we want to make sure that we're bringing on folks that are diverse to our community. And as well as other folks had said, we did have a parent of a client, and we'd like to have that again. So that's kind of what our needs are at this time.
Great. Okay, Josie.
I think something, and the rest of the group has mentioned this as well, but someone that's passionate about the work we do. It isn't easy to just, jump into a part of what we do and instantaneously see results. But I think someone that believes in what we do and that there's a time, there's a process that families go through. So that's definitely something that is important for any board member that comes on board. And also someone that has the awareness of the community that we are serving, so that when ideas, when creative things come up, or innovative thoughts or something new, they understand and collaborate with us and support what we're doing in-house for our program. And also, as the rest of them, someone that has the fundraising, whether they're coming with it or they have the connections in the community that are willing to give and partner with us to continue to do what we do. I think those are the three big things that we look for our board members. One last one, I think someone that understands that faith looks different for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, for us as a nonprofit faith-based, that we're here to love people. And so we're not excluding anybody because of their faith, but rather our faith shining through to everyone and anyone that comes through our doors, and to be able to help them.
Great. And Matt.
Thanks, Nancy. This is a great question, and we're actually in the process of seeking new board members, so very timely as well. There's a lot of things we have in common, especially with Kathy at Tierra del Sol. Obviously, a firm commitment to our mission is at the heart of it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are very important. It's a priority that board members represent the community where we're located and also that we serve. And we do, like Kathy and some other organizations here, have some family members of clients represented on our board, I think about 30%. And that definitely helps us retain that connection to why we're here in the first place and our founding families and their vision. But in addition to that, the access to the community, to funders, to funding, the connections, and the willingness to ask, to attend events. And we do provide opportunities for board members to get engaged throughout the year, whether it's our event or events in the community that we're attending. But there are definitely opportunities to get involved. And if anyone is interested, be happy to have a conversation.
Great. Okay, so Tanjane, Susie, Stephanie. Oh, Tanjane, you went already, right?
Yeah, I was the first one.
Sorry. Okay, so then Susie, and then Stephanie.
Hello again. Exactly. I think I agree with everybody here. Board members that are devoted to the mission, devoted to San Fernando Valley, and for us specifically, somebody that we tend to have a mix of our board that's been with us for years. And then we did, as another person mentioned, add to our board 2 new members during the pandemic. And a real devotion to, for the most part, families with students who really benefit from more support. And yeah, we do have a fundraising component too. So I want to be transparent about that. But we do have an opening for 1 person. So would be great to talk to anybody that's interested.
Great. And then Stephanie.
Yes. So I would love to find a board member that specializes in mental health. I think that Valley Intercommunity Council, that there's such a mental health component to our clients over 60. And it's really like other populations, it's a specialized need. And I'm 40 years old and I can come with these great ideas. I have a background with a master's of social work, but really having someone to tune into how to really make sure we're giving the best quality of life for this portion of living, I think would raise us to the next level. Also, fundraising. We're partially funded by the city, so always fundraising. And I'm not sure quite what the position would also be, but I see like someone really specializing in technology, how we can take something that's been so one-on-one personal interaction experience, and really how can we like reach more homebound clients? How can we reach more clients that maybe can have more exercise classes rather than just coming in? We're doing that now that there's a pandemic, but I think now as we grow, we'll be very virtual and very at the center. So I see a large growth right there.
Great. Well, we've come to the end of our program, but I'm going to ask all the nonprofits to stay on for a few more minutes with Gary, because he has a program that we do with the chamber that can be offered to all of you to help with your fundraising efforts. So right now, why don't we give all of our nonprofits, for our live audience out here, a big round of applause for everything they do for the San Fernando Valley and their constituents. And we hope that tomorrow you will go visit their websites. FUMI has an email going out, or the chamber has an email going out for all of our nonprofits, so you can click on them and see what their Giving Tuesday programs are. So look for that email. It may have already gone out today. Did it go out today, FUMI? No, so go out tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it'll go out tomorrow morning.
And you want everyone, okay, so if you're off video, and Bob, I took you off of video because you were working. Everyone come off video really quick, or come on to video, and FUMI's gonna take a quick photo of all of us. I'm gonna fix my bra strap. And so everyone look at the camera. Maybe we should do what we did last year and do our little heart.
Sure.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little heart, and then we're gonna end the recording and the live video, and then we're gonna stay on for a couple seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna take a few. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This was
Okay, so
awesome
hold
this
on.
morning. What a great way
Hold
to
on.
start our week.